doing well, and I hope that if you do celebrate Christmas that you're having a wonderful Christmas day. It might seem a little strange that I'm taking my Christmas day to film a book review, but this whole process only takes like an hour, and for my family at least, Christmas Eve is like the big celebration day because we're German and Polish. So I had an hour to kill, and I also had this nagging feeling that there was a book or just a video in general I had been needing to film, but it wasn't on my list, and then it hit me that I finished The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna weeks ago. I think I was listening to it and finished it when I was going to and from my interview, and I think just because that time period was hectic, I totally forgot to film a review, so I thought I might as well do that today. So I will go through a quick spoiler-free summary and then get into the pros and cons as usual. So The Nightingale starts off right at the start of World War II in France when the Germans have just started to invade, and you have the perspectives of two wildly different sisters, just polar opposite personalities. You have Vianne, who is the older sister, and although she's lovely, she's quite fearful, a bit of a scaredy cat in general, and she has a very loving husband and daughter. And then you have Isabel, who is just incredibly rebellious, and instead of staying at her home and hiding from the Nazis and just trying to not get in their way, she really wants to head out and actually fight against them. And both of these sisters also, I should mention, don't have the best relationship because their mother died when they were younger, and then their father kind of separated them and left them off, so they have this kind of underlying tension as well. Then the other major aspect of this book, I would say it only takes up about 20% of it, is during the present day in the United States. You have a woman, it doesn't say what her name is, with an adult son, and throughout this book you know it's one of the sisters, but you don't find out until the end of the book which sister this is and essentially which one survived. So in terms of prose, I really enjoyed the dynamic between Vianne and Isabel and how their relationships and their character development and how all of that progressed, because especially at the beginning of the book they both did feel a little bit like caricatures. Like Isabel just felt like such a stereotype of that like rebellious older teenager who's beautiful, but throughout the book that definitely changes and develops. So I definitely enjoyed that aspect of both their characters and their relationships and kind of the ebbs and flows. The other major pro is definitely the emotional impact of this book. I don't know if you can guess this based off of just the videos that I make, but I'm not a highly emotional person, so often I feel like books that have a major impact on other people and just leaves them in tears, it doesn't necessarily have that impact on me, but this book definitely did. And it even got to the point, because as I said, I was listening to this as an audiobook on the way to my interview, and I was getting towards the end of the book, and I was just sobbing profusely for like 2 straight hours in the car, which says a lot because that never happens to me. And it got to the point where I had to just shut it off because I was like, I cannot walk into an interview and be in this kind of mental state. I also did end up liking how romance was handled throughout this book, because especially for both characters, how things are set up, I was worried how things were going to progress throughout this book, and I thought, oh my god, is this going to verge on being just cheesy, and is romance going to take over this book, when naturally World War II and the Holocaust and the horrible things that happened and the relationship between these sisters, that should be the major aspect of this book, not romance. And I was worried that romance would just kind of take over both of their stories, but it definitely didn't, so I liked how that was handled. My major con for this book would just be some plot points that caused the book to feel a little bit cheesy at times. So 80% of the book I would say was very hard-hitting and felt very realistic, and I actually learned a lot. But then there was 20% of the book that felt kind of like a Lifetime movie. And when I say a Lifetime movie, I don't mean a terrible Lifetime movie, I mean like a high-quality, decent Lifetime movie, but still a Lifetime movie. Just some aspects, and this isn't spoilers, I won't say names for anything, but lots of characters die, and particularly towards the end of the book when one character dies, the timing of it I just thought was really unrealistic, and I just thought, I mean, I know that could happen, but realistically that just wouldn't happen, and it felt like the author was kind of doing it for the sake of just trying to make the reader cry versus kind of telling the story authentically. But overall I did enjoy it, so I would say if you are looking to read a World War II or Holocaust book, I would go ahead and recommend this. I pretty much said everything I have to say, and my mom just told me that the eggnog ice cream is finished being made, so I'm definitely gonna head off, but I will see you guys in a few days. Bye.